Hello everyone, thank you for tuning in to Talk with Temur. Today we're going to be discussing about game violence. In February 2021, State Representative Marcus Evans Jr. introduced a bill proposing to ban sales of violent video games like GTA 5. He wanted to add an amendment to the 2011 law that prevented some video games from being sold to minors. He said that these games are the reason for the recent spikes in carjackings in the Chicago area. This isn't the first time the Grand Theft Auto series has got into trouble. The Hot Coffee mod was an infamous minigame that GTA San Andreas was apparently going to be shipped with, but didn't. It allowed players to have sex with CJ's in-game girlfriends. However, fans of the game managed to mod and unlock this hidden minigame. This caused the game to receive an adults-only rating in the US, as well as other limitations in other countries. So why do people think that violent games promote violence? There isn't really enough evidence, to be honest. However, games like Mortal Kombat, Doom, and Wolfenstein were called out by the American Psychiatric Association, APA for short, for inducing aggressive behaviors into its players. Mortal Kombat is a fighting game that isn't for the faint of heart. After almost knocking your opponent out at the end of the game, you're given the chance to perform a fatality, which is a very gruesome and devastating finishing blow to end your opponent's life. Almost all fatalities are extreme and involve a lot of gore. Doom is similar in nature, as you get to do multiple finishers on multiple demons, all while giving you a very gruesome animation. Wolfenstein's violence is a bit different, in that it tends to have a point. I mean, sure, you use a minigun to obliterate Mecha Hitler, but at the same time you're dealing with a character's emotions, something that, if you noticed, wasn't present in the previous games discussed. There honestly isn't really any solid evidence that suggests violent video games promote violence. The APA article also never reached a clear conclusion and only suggested that video games can promote aggressive emotions. Other articles reported that more research needed to be done, and that instead of only focusing on the negative impact, more research should be done about the potential benefits of violent video games. On top of that, as a kid playing video games, there's always this stigma that video games are to be blamed for bad grades. I mean, at the end of the day, blaming games has more to do about the fact that people fear things that they don't fully understand yet. When I first started playing GTA 5, I was impressed about the level of detail they managed to put in a game of that era. The realism in the game felt so lifelike that I've spent about more than 100 hours roaming San Andreas and I've completed GTA 5 numerous times. So, does GTA 5 promote violence? There are many crimes that you can commit in GTA 5. You can rob banks, plan heists, run over people, rob stores, and the topic of our conversation, carjack. However, after committing any crime, the police will always be on your tail, so it's not like you can get away scot-free. GTA 5 handles violence by letting their players know that their actions have serious consequences. You can't just go on a rampage and expect no repercussions. At the end of the main storyline, you also receive a psychological report that determines what kind of a person your in-game character was. Sandbox games allow you to do that. They allow you to create your own world and decide for yourself what you want to do with it. GTA 5 is a sandbox game, and so its level of detail, gory or not, is meant to provide you with a more immersive gaming experience. Immersion doesn't always translate to a simulation of our minds in real life though, so it doesn't mean what you do in-game will translate to what you do outside of the game. Lately, there has also been a push for making games more mature, in a way that it mimics real life, linking back to that sandbox effect. And I mean, GTA 5 isn't even gory. When you're in a police shootout or gang shootout, you will notice that the blood that you see on screen around you is just the game's way of telling you that you've taken a lot of damage and you should probably go into cover and heal. It isn't even blood, just some red marks that appear on the screen. I mean, you can see the bullet wounds, but in comparison to Mortal Kombat, the gore in this game is pretty mediocre. If you're shooting or hitting someone, you will notice that after taking their life, a pool of blood sort of forms underneath their body. This is just one of the details that Rockstar North has added, and this makes the game feel more realistic. When planning heists, GTA 5 goes into a decent amount of detail.
Get down there! Alright, everybody pays attention. No one gets hurt. Go! Open the door! They'll get worse than hurt! Hey! Hey! Ah! Come on! Oh, finally! Don't do anything! Let's go! Shut up! Shut the f*** up! Come on! Hands behind your back!
Oh, just come on, mister. We're giving you everything you want.
Don't even think about it!
I'll do it. Oh, God.
Get in there!
Sit tight! I'll handle the blasting!
Don't blow yourself up! Pay attention!
Em, get these assholes in the closet! In the back! Come on!
What's he doing?
Hurry!
He's gonna kill us in here. Leave us
You.
alone. We didn't do shit to you.
All set! Phone it in!
I'm calling it!
All right, we gonna do this? Huh? Show me the money!
Slow and steady, T. Slow and steady.
Now, I'm no heist planner by profession, or am I? But this doesn't seem to be enough to motivate me to go to my nearest bank and canvass the area for a heist. Most of the heists in the game are planned by one person, while the rest just play a part in it. I'm pretty sure you need more than just one person to even start to plan a heist in real life. Carjacking is something that is pretty common in this game. However, carjacking is so common in open world games that almost every single one of them involve carjacking to some degree, as you need some form of transportation to go from point A to point B. And with the massive map sizes today's games have, it becomes hard to cover that distance on foot. But again, you're also given a choice. There is a taxi service in GTA 5 that charges you and helps you take that trip from Mount Chiliad to Vespucci Beach. Now, if you don't want to spend that money, then yes, you will carjack the nearest and probably the fanciest car that you find. All of this doesn't look like GTA 5 glorifies carjacking. If anything, it just gives you a choice, and what you do with that choice is just up to you. In my opinion, the violence that GTA portrays, or any game portrays for that matter, isn't enough for someone to ban or stop others from consuming that media. There are other things that can be done to help the carjacking situation or any other violent situation, instead of focusing efforts to alienate video games and claim it to be responsible in these situations. Should there be age restrictions on certain video games? I mean, absolutely. Just as movies and TV shows have a rating system, more mature games should only be allowed for mature audiences, and that's exactly why the ESRB was formed. Before going guns blazing in Call of Duty, you need to be of a certain age to understand what's going on in the game and be able to separate the fictional world from the real world. And you also need to be able to tell what's right from what's wrong. Having a rating system in place has worked out, as a lot of younger audiences are only exposed to age-appropriate games, just like they're only allowed to watch age-appropriate media, movies, TV shows. So, do you think that violence in video games helps promote violence in real life? Let me know. Hope you enjoyed my final submission. That'll be all from my side. Peace.